What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Day after the 21-day challenge. Just got done killing some chest. I was 167, by the way. Today I feel weird not telling y'all my weigh-ins. Alright, so this is going to be a recap video on the 21-day challenge. I got my blood test results back, so I want to tell y'all what that came to. I want to break this into 3 parts. The motivation behind doing the challenge in the first place, the results and observations I experienced, and then what I'm going to do moving forward. So, to start, what was my motivation behind doing this challenge in the first place? Hopefully this video doesn't become too long of a rant, and I apologize for the background noise. Got all kinds of traffic and road noise going on. Alright, so a couple different reasons. I touched on this in the first video. One of the main reasons being, actually let's save that one for a little later. First of all, I was prepping when I stumbled upon Jason Whitrock's 21-day challenge. So I'm sitting here doing cardio down to 1,650 calories, and he's eating 4,000, and I'm just watching these videos of him shoveling food in his mouth, and I'm like, that's what I want right there. So that was kind of my motivation behind starting. It's like, well, I wonder how it's going to affect me. I get to eat food. He doesn't seem to be experiencing any excessive weight gain. Let's do it. Let's jump on it. So that was one of them. And the main one being, honestly, I did the ketogenic diet throughout my whole off season, put on a lot of muscle. I did the ketogenic diet throughout my whole contest prep, got freaking shredded, did so healthy, and I looked better than I've ever looked before on stage, and I got my pro card. I mean, I got the paperwork in yesterday to sign to become an official pro athlete. Like, that's awesome. And I did it doing a ketogenic diet when everybody told me I couldn't. So I'm stoked about that. But the third phase of the whole bodybuilding lifestyle is post-show, and nobody ever talks about that. But you hear there's so much like negativity surrounding the post-show rebound is what it's called. To people will like reverse out of a diet incorrectly, or they'll just start binge eating. They'll develop eating disorders. I've done that in the past. I put on 20 pounds in 48 hours after my first show. That's gonna mess with you mentally, physically, emotionally. Like, I was depressed, and that's like not really the exception. That's more the norm. Like, you hear about people, and that happens more often than not. Like, people don't reverse out of a diet correctly, and they put on a lot of body fat, and it just becomes an unhealthy lifestyle. It makes what should be healthy a bad thing, and that's unfortunate. So I wanted the ketogenic diet, you know, to be my post-show protocol as well, and see how that would affect me. Now I didn't do a reverse diet. I didn't like solely increase my calories. I went from 1,650 to 4,000 overnight, you know. So I kind of took it to an extreme, but I wanted to, you know, really push the envelope to see how it would affect other people in more of a normal, controlled environment. So that was my main reason behind doing this 21-day challenge, to see how it would affect competitors post-show. So yeah, that's basically my motivation behind starting it. Plus, you know, from like, not everybody's a competitor, you know, I get that. I wanted to kind of see what a surplus in calories would do to me, you know, and what it can potentially do to just a healthy individual, or just an individual in general. You know, you don't have to be a competitor to enjoy the benefits of a ketogenic diet. So is a calorie, is that the whole thing true? Is calories in versus calorie out, is that true? You know, I didn't burn 4,000 calories a day, I do not believe, especially since I was, you know, much less than that going forward. So I wanted to see how that would affect me. You know, would I gain a whole bunch of body fat? Would I have a strength increase? There's a lot of unknown variables for me, so I was just curious to see. So that was basically the motivation behind starting the 21-day challenge. And just to give this video a little bit more variety, I'm gonna do the second clip in a different spot, so I'll holler at you then. Time for the second stage of this recap video. I'm in the office right now, and I wanted to touch on quite a few different things here regarding the results and observations and findings of the 21-day keto calorie challenge. I'm also drinking 2 cups of coconut almond milk and a Zip Fizz. So tasty. And I just had Buffalo Wild Wings, so feeling pretty good. So, a couple things I want to touch on here. First of all, the body weight. The body weight started at 160 and I ended the challenge at 169. Now granted, keep in mind that 160 was a little high because I started the challenge 2 days after my or one day after my competition. So I had like 5,000 calories at night, so I had like a lot of food weight in me. So I think a accurate starting weight would be like 158, 159. And then I waited on the last day of the challenge at 169, but again I had that large meal. These past 2 days, or today I woke up at 167. So I think an accurate weight would be like 159 to 167. So I've experienced about a solid 8-pound increase in body weight. So there's that. Body fat. I had the impedance test, the bioelectrical impedance analysis test done the Thursday before the challenge, and I was 4.3%. I had it done again the other day after 21 days, whatever it was, and it was 5.5%. So that's a 1.2% increase in body fat, which again I'm totally okay with and kind of expected since I was at such a deficit from the contest prep. Totally okay with that. 1.2% after 21 days of 4,000 plus calories. That's pretty freaking impressive in my opinion. I like that. That's pretty cool. Blood work. This is the one you're all been waiting for. So I've got let's see here. Alright, so I had my blood work drawn on January 20th. I started my contest prep December 1st. So I had my blood work drawn on January 20th, so about 1.5 months into contest prep. Had my blood drawn for the lipid panel test, and I had it drawn again last Friday on the 5th of May. So the blood work kind of reflects the majority of my contest prep and all of this 21-day challenge basically. So cholesterol, excuse me, total cholesterol. The desirable range is less than 200 milligrams per deciliter. On the 20th of January, I was 244, which is kind of high, but you can't just look at total cholesterol and see it as being high and say it's negative when your HDL is good, so I'll talk about that in a minute. So 244 on January 20th. On the 5th of May, it was 229, so a decrease there. HDL. HDL is your good cholesterol. It's what you want. You're considered excellent if it's greater than 60 milligrams per deciliter. On the 20th, mine was 101, so that's pretty good. On the 5th, it was 154, so an increase of 53 points on my HDL, so very pleased about that. My LDL, aka the bad cholesterol, what you want to go down, was, and again, a desirable range for LDL is less than 130 milligrams per deciliter. On the 20th, mine was 130, and on the 5th, mine was 68. So a decrease in LDL, which is good. My triglycerides, you ideally want to be less than 150 milligrams per deciliter. On the 20th, mine was 64, so considerably less than 150, so very healthy there. Triglycerides are like the fat you have floating around in your blood. Get this, on the 5th, so after eating 4,000 plus calories of mostly fatty foods for 21 straight days, my triglycerides were 36. So I went from 64 to 36. The desirable range is less than 150. So I'm eating all this fatty food and my triglycerides are getting lower and lower. my total cholesterol ratio, which is total cholesterol divided by your HDL, you are considered at low risk of heart disease, yada yada yada, if it is less than 3.6. On January 20th, it was 2.2. On May 5th, last Friday, it was 1.4. So a decrease in my total cholesterol divided by HDL ratio there. So all of my biomarkers have improved from a blood work standpoint. I am pretty freaking stoked about that. Now, that's good news. Let's talk about my measurements. I did a full-blown measurements update the other day, so you can check out that for the actual increase. Everything pretty much grew except for my chest, which stayed the same, but everything grew by about, I think the norm was like a half an inch to a 1 inch in some things. I can definitely tell like my muscles are more full. They've filled out considerably. I'm really excited about that. Like I look bigger. I'm a bodybuilder, so that's what I'm wanting, you know, as long as it's not all body fat. So I cannot complain there. I look bigger in the gym. I feel more powerful. So yeah, all those are good measurement increases. Let's talk about some of the negatives, or not really negatives, but just some of the other observations. I've noticed a slight decrease in my beta-hydroxybutyrate ketone levels throughout the whole 21-day challenge. I think this was because surplus in calories and increase in protein and total carbs. I was at 1,650 calories in prep, and then it went straight to 4,000 plus. So my protein went from like 70 grams a day to 150 grams a day. I think my fat went from like 170 to 350, and my carbs went from like 6 to, I had 100 grams of total carbs one day during this challenge. So it's not really surprising to me that my average beta-hydroxybutyrate levels decreased. I still pretty much maintain ketosis throughout the vast majority of this prep, so I'm not really worried about that at all. Since I've been eating more, I've had more of a stomach bloat. Like in some of my posing videos, it looks like I've got GH gut, you know, which is like caused from growth hormone. Supposedly, I don't really know or pretend to know, or I'm not talking about steroids or male enhancement or any of that stuff. But it looked like I had more of a bloat to my midsection. That's just that thing from eating so much food. I mean, I'm eating big voluminous meals. You know, I'm not eating like just olive oil off the spoon. I was eating, 3 pounds of Miracle Rice. So I think a little bit of stomach bloat is to be expected. Hunger's definitely decreased since prep. Throughout the whole 21-day challenge, I wasn't, near as hungry as I was during competition prep. But I was still pretty hungry. Like, I didn't have any problem whatsoever eating 4,000 calories a day. And I think, honestly, a lot of that was because mentally I'm thinking so much about food. And, you tend to focus on what you're thinking or spend so much time thinking about. So, like, I'd be tracking all my macros. I mean, you're thinking about food all the time, you're going to be hungry. So, hunger levels were still pretty high. A couple of the more physical things I noticed, my vascularity has actually improved. Like, my vascularity in my legs and like my calves and my arm, I mean, everything's just improved. Like, my vascularity is freaky. Like, I don't know if it's because of the additional calories or additional total carbs or additional fats or what, but my vascularity has improved, which is pretty cool. I'm getting intense pumps in the gym. My blood flow is through the roof, and I'm holding that muscle pump for an extended period of time. Like, it's not just there and gone. Like, I'm maintaining that really good solid pump throughout the entire workout, which is awesome. I've noticed my skin is actually thinner, and I've talked about this in one of the earlier videos when I first noticed it, but I would have expected, after intaking that much more of a surplus in calories, my skin would have kind of like gotten thicker, and I would have lost some of that definition and lost some of that vascularity. All these kind of go hand in hand, but my skin is actually thinner, which is pretty freaking cool. Like, I was doing calf raises this morning, and calves have always been a weak body point for me, but like I was able to pick out individual muscle fibers all throughout my calves on the outer head of the calf, which was just like blowing my mind because I had never seen that before, even during prep. So that was cool. Energy is great, and I didn't really have too much bad energy during prep, to be honest with you. I've had pretty high consistent energy levels throughout all of the competition prep and all of the 4,000 day challenge or 4,000 calorie challenge. I don't get that much sleep. Like, I'm doing good if I get about 4 hours a night, but I wake up feeling really good, and I don't really let that hinder me. Like, I still train hard, I still train heavy. I'm still able to totally function and perform at a high level throughout the day on little sleep, and my energy is great. Mental clarity, that stayed pretty consistent. I didn't notice any increase or decrease in mental clarity after increasing my calories to 4,000 plus. Strength has steadily been improving since competition prep. That's kind of to be expected. You know, you're at a deficit throughout prep, and your strength is going to go down at some point. I didn't really experience much of any strength loss until right there about a month before the show. I was PRing on lifts, you know, pretty much right up to that month out from the show, and then I started to notice a decrease in strength. But since the challenge has started, I've steadily been increasing strength. I've PR'd on a few things since the competition, and yeah, strength is going up. So that is a couple of the main points I want to talk about. I'm already at 12.5 minutes on this clip, so I'm going to call it quits right there. I'm still going to talk about a few more things, and I'm going to do a what's next for me clip, what I have planned going forward. So I'll holler back at you then. Alright, somebody mentioned in an earlier video that they liked my cowboy hat, so you know I had to wear my cowboy hat for this last clip. Alright, so this third section of the vlog, I want to talk about what my plans are moving forward post 21 day challenge. And my plans are to continue consuming 4,000 calories, at least for the next month or so. My body's responded super well to it. I don't feel like I've had any negative effect whatsoever. I've gained a little bit of weight, a little bit of body fat, but I've gotten more vascular. Strength has increased. My pumps are great, like we just got done talking about. I think it's lent itself well to what I want as a bodybuilder. So I'm going to continue to consume 4,000 calories, at least for the next month. I'm not gonna document it every single day like I've been doing, but I am gonna be conscious of what I'm eating. I do track all my food, so I'm gonna continue to track all my food and at least get that 4,000 calories. And I'll probably keep the ratios the same too, at 80% fat, 15% protein, and 5% carbs. Now, what else are my plans? I'll do a check-in with y'all after that month. I'll be in touch, obviously, with vlogs and stuff, you know, between now and then, but I'll do like a recap video about the 4,000 calories specifically after that month's time. Let's see here. I feel like doing 4,000 calories or consuming 4,000 calories for another month will be accurate, or will be a good information for y'all, because like I said, I went straight from contest prep at such a deficit to the 4,000 calories. I think I'm kind of leveled out in like a maintenance phase or growth phase right now, so I think it'd be advantageous to know how 4,000 calories is going to affect me now going forward versus how I was right after contest prep and then jumping to that. I think both are good to know, but I want to know both. So that's my plan as far as calories and nutrition are concerned. Not gonna do another show for a while. As a natural bodybuilder, you don't really want to compete every year, because I mean, I spent 4.5 months in, you know, a diet at a deficit, so it's hard to really put on quality mass and lean muscle if you're constantly, you know, dieting every 6 months or so. So take a couple years off from competing. Normally I take about 2 years off, and then I'll come back in looking better, bigger, and more mature and more developed than last time. So that's my plan from a competitor standpoint. I got my pro car with this last one, or the first of these two. So I'm a professional bodybuilder now, which is kind of even crazy to say, but that's pretty cool. and I did so. I got my pro card, my pro status, following the ketogenic protocol, so I'm excited to bring that to the table. From a what else can I talk about? I'm moving to Arkansas in less than a month, so it's gonna be kind of crazy here, getting everything packed up, moved, but I'm excited about that. Obviously, I'm thinking about doing like a cross-country keto style vlog in which I like document, what I eat, how I train, everything when I'm going across the country, because it's gonna be a pretty good trip. So look forward to that. And what else? I'm just excited to get more engaged and more involved with my audience, with you guys. Because I was doing the prep for 4.5 months, and then I started doing the 21-day challenge, and like the daily, filming, editing, vlogging, like that took it out of me. On top of everything else I'm doing right now, I'm excited to kind of focus more on the behind the scenes, engagement, communication, relationship building aspect of business and life. And y'all are some great people. I've met some great people throughout this whole experience, so I'm excited to get more involved and interact with y'all. I'm excited to focus more on my clients. I've had some great clients come to me throughout this whole process and the exposure I've received from this, and I'm excited to really give back as a coach and as a teacher. And I'm excited to keep learning and keep developing and keep improving my knowledge of the ketogenic diet as a lifestyle, and then sharing that information with you. And that's my plans going forward. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to every single one of you that have followed this journey thus far, both through my off season, my competition prep, and this 21-day challenge. Anything I have going forward, y'all the greatest. Keto on, baby. I've learned a lot. I'm excited. I'm passionate about what I'm working on, and I'm passionate about giving it back and adding value to you. So thanks again, and tip my hat to you. Catch y'all later.